Hello everyone and welcome to Abundantly Minimal. My name is Sarah and today we are talking about 5 must-have secrets or must-haves for your decluttering journey, specifically a successful decluttering journey. In my work with Abundantly Minimal, I've spent nearly 6 years helping others learn how to declutter their home and live a more minimal and intentional life. And in doing so, I've identified different components that some people have or some people have implemented and others haven't. And I've seen that these 5 pieces can really make the difference between someone successfully reaching their decluttering goals or not. And obviously I want you to be able to reach your decluttering goals. So I'm hopeful that as you're listening today, you can reflect about if you got these components as part of your decluttering journey or if not. And if not, what actions can we take to help support you in that way or to find something that's going to work to fill that need so you can be successful. But without further ado, let's jump in. And number 1 is having a goal. You need to have a goal to be able to reach it. Sometimes we think, oh, well, easy. Yeah, I need to declutter my house. That's my goal. I'm going to declutter my house. But the thing is that goal is really broad. There can be a lot of different directions for how that goal is reached. And if you don't have a clear vision for your space or a clear specific goal or series of goals within that larger umbrella goal, it's not going to work. We have to break things down into smaller pieces. We have to visualize what things are going to look like. And you need to reflect about what you ultimately want, but not just, I want to declutter my house, but specifically, what do you want it to look like in each room? What do you want each room to feel like? What are you hoping are the other changes that come about from this decluttered space? We need to visualize yourself living in that decluttered space and the mindset that you have. It's a lot more complicated than just saying, I'm going to declutter my house. And so I encourage you, if that's your goal, let's break it down into much smaller pieces. Something helpful that I have found for myself when I was decluttering and also for my decluttering students is to think about making 1% progress. And if we're trying to make 100% progress, there might easily be 100 steps in the process to get there. Of course, that doesn't mean you have to go 0 to 100. Even just 5% or 10% progress can be huge, but it's important for us to be very specific about these, be able to measure our goals better, maybe have a time frame that you get these taken care of, and just having a vision for each individual component of your home or part that you want to declutter. So, step number 1, make sure you have a goal. If you don't have a goal, feel free to even pause this video and reflect about what that goal is. Jot it down, put it somewhere, on the fridge or somewhere where you're going to be able to return to it and see it and remember what your goal is. Step number 2, you need to have a plan because you've got your goal. Maybe you're breaking down the goal a little bit, but a goal without a plan is just going to stay that goal or that dream. It's not going to actually turn into anything. That's one of the toughest parts of life. We can have these dreams or these goals for ourselves, but if we don't actually do the work to get there and don't plan it out properly, we're not going to achieve it. So you need to have a plan for how you're going to go about this. Now let's return back to our goal. If it's to declutter the house and we've broken it down a little bit more, how are you going to go about doing it? Many people will take different approaches, and I know everyone's different, but in a very recent video, I talked about decluttering from A to Z, and in that video, I shared my Better with Less success path, which breaks down a very organized path for different types of clutter. It starts in the middle, you work your way out, and there are 26 different components. Now, of course, you might be thinking 26 different pieces, that's a lot. But all the pieces are small, so they're actionable, and you can move forward in a way that yields momentum and lasting change. So that would be an example you can look at. You can check out the link below with info about the Better with Less success path, as well as my decluttering program, Better with Less, if you're interested in learning more. But the main idea here is that we need a plan of action so we can move forward and be successful. So we've got our goal, we've got our plan. Step number 3 is that we need the ideas or information to help us be successful. And with this information, we can get this from a variety of sources. I'm definitely a big fan of being a lifelong learner, and I love learning about different topics. all the time. One of the beauties of continuing to learn from different sources and different people as we go in whatever goals we're trying to reach is that we get new perspectives, we get new ideas, our own perspective and mindset shifts, so we're able to try something different that we weren't able to do before. We start to understand better how different pieces fit together and how past actions maybe affect future actions. There's a lot that can be learned when we are actively learning from others, whether we're watching videos, whether we're listening to others share their ideas like in a podcast, whether we're reading. However you choose to consume information, there has to be some sort of source of new information and perspectives to help you move forward. It's all about that mindset shift and perspective shift. If we just put ourselves in a little bubble and don't interact with anyone and don't challenge ourselves and our ways of thinking, we're never going to change and we're never going to get better. And if someone's goal is to declutter their house, if they just keep doing what they've always done and don't expand their horizons or learn new information and new ideas, then they're not going to be able to succeed. So it's crucial to have these sources of information. I would say the only thing to watch out for here is that some people do kind of over-consume information, and maybe they're learning from too many different people or reading too many different perspectives, and they focus so much on the consuming of content and information that they don't have much time left for action. So I encourage you to find the balance. Consume the content you need to learn what you need to, get that information, pause, and implement. We don't want to consume it all and then implement, because the implementing might not happen. So it's important to sort of work as you go, learn as you go, and work gradually on that goal. We've talked about the goal, we've talked about the plan, we've talked about the information or the ideas, and now step 4, the fourth must-have, is support or accountability. Humans are social creatures, and we do best when we're working with others rather than trying to do it by ourselves. Now, in your own life, unfortunately, you might feel like you're the only one who really cares about decluttering at this point, or you don't have a friend or a coworker or family member that you can work with towards, a decluttering goal or decluttering journey. If this is the case, I totally understand. I know it can feel really lonely when you don't have anyone to bounce ideas around with or to share your progress, or even someone who's like, hey, did you do the thing you said you were going to do, and hold you accountable in that way. And this is exactly why one of my favorite parts of running the Better with Less decluttering program that I do is the community of people. It just seems to be like the best people. Like, everyone is so kind and supportive of one another, which I love. But we have 2 to 3 coaching calls every month in different time zones. We've started doing live decluttering events, and it's just really exciting to be able to see that interaction happen and to be able to connect with people who are going through the same process. People can be their biggest cheerleaders, even if they've never met in person. And I know if you find yourself struggling and wanting some accountability or wanting other people who get it to talk to, this can be a really nice supportive space. I know some groups or courses and programs are so large that it can become overwhelming. If there are thousands upon thousands of people in a program or a course, I just know there's not the same level of personal interaction and personal connection that can happen. But I know in the Better with Less program, I've seen, we've got much smaller, more intimate setting. So it's a much easier opportunity for everyone to share what they're up to and actually form, more supportive relationships, and knowing others in the program on a first name basis. It's just really cool to see happen and to be a part of. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention that here when we're talking about support and accountability. Step number 5, or your 5th must-have, is action. And it's whatever you need to do or whatever needs to happen to inspire action. Like I mentioned earlier, we can learn all the things. We can set all the goals. We can have the perfect plan that we can follow to success. But if we don't act, nothing will change. And so it's important to identify what is it that's going to make you act. It's not just saying you're going to do something and not doing it. We need to take action. And for a lot of people, that can be different things. When trying to inspire action, I think setting a timer or a deadline for ourselves can be really effective. For instance, set a timer for 15 minutes and try to declutter something in that time period. Having the urgency of a timer can spark us into action and lead us to take action and declutter certain items in our space, or at least be actively looking for it. Likewise, maybe it's helpful to schedule a pickup time with a local donation shop if they offer that, or even to plan your errands or even a social interaction around you dropping donations off at a donation center so that there's urgency for you to get something done prior to that time frame. Ultimately here, good intentions are not good enough if you're not able to see them through. We talked about the 5 must-haves today, but like I mentioned a few times, my Better with Less course is still open for enrollment, but not for long. I'm shutting down enrollment on February 7th. So make sure you have signed up before February 7th if you want to be a part of this, because I will not be accepting any new students until the summer. So this is your chance if you want to get on this now and you want to start to see effective changes in your space now. I don't want you to have to put this off again for another 6 months or longer until you're ready to actually act. You can start enjoying the benefits of a decluttered home and simplified space now. All of the information is linked below for you. I hope you'll join us. It is a wonderful group, and I think there's a lot that you can gain from it. We've got a 30-day money-back guarantee, so even if you sign up and you don't like what you're experiencing or it's not fitting your needs specifically, no questions asked, you get all your money back. Please let me know any questions you have about that in the description field below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.